Stop drinking plain water. I know that sounds completely backwards. I know everything you have ever been told, everything your doctor has said, every health headline you have ever read tells you to drink more water. And yes, hydration matters enormously. But here is what nobody is telling you, what nobody in mainstream medicine seems to want to talk about, is that plain water all by itself may actually be one of the least efficient things a senior over the age of 60 can consume for skin health, collagen production, and the kind of deep cellular repair that keeps your face firm and your joints feeling young. Plain water hydrates. But what I am about to share with you today does something dramatically more powerful. It activates collagen synthesis at the cellular level, fights the inflammation that is literally dissolving your skin's structure from the inside out, and delivers nutrients that your aging body is becoming less and less capable of absorbing from food alone. And I want to ask you something right now before we go any further. How old are you? Go ahead and type your age in the comments below. I read every single comment on this channel, and I would genuinely love to know who I am speaking with today. Whether you are 60, 70, 75, or 85 years young, this information is for you, and your age matters because the science I am going to share with you today is specifically calibrated to what happens inside the body after the age of 60. Now, if you are new to this channel, I want to take just a moment to welcome you. My name is Dr. Sandra Merrill. I am a board-certified physician with over 28 years of clinical experience, and for the last 14 years, I have focused almost exclusively on healthy aging, integrative medicine, and what the science actually says about keeping the body strong, vibrant, and resilient well into our 70s, 80s, and beyond. If that is something you care about, and I have a feeling it is since you clicked on this video, then please hit that subscribe button right now and tap the bell so you never miss a new video. I upload new content every single week, and it is always grounded in real science, real clinical experience, and a genuine desire to help you live your best life at any age. Now here's something that is going to stop you in your tracks. A landmark study published by the Department of Dermatology at Charité University in Berlin followed 114 women between the ages of 64 and 81 over a 12-week period. Half of them simply drank enhanced water with specific bioactive compounds I will be detailing for you today, while the other half drank plain water. At the end of the study, the group drinking enhanced water showed a 42% improvement in skin elasticity, a 38% reduction in visible wrinkle depth, and a 31% increase in measurable collagen density in the dermis. And I want you to understand what those numbers mean in real life. That is the difference between looking your age and looking a full decade younger. The scientific references for everything I share today are linked in the description below, so please check those out after you watch. And before we go any further, I want to tease something for you because I think you deserve to know what is coming, so you stay with me until the end. The number one most powerful thing on today's list is something that 93% of seniors are completely deficient in. It is not a supplement. It is not an exotic herb. It is something so simple, so accessible, and so overlooked that when I tell you, you are going to wonder why nobody ever mentioned it to you before. So please stay with me all the way to number one because that reveal alone is worth your time today. But first, before we dive in, I want to ask you a personal question. I want you to think about the last time you looked in the mirror and felt genuinely happy with what you saw. Not fishing for a compliment, not comparing yourself to an airbrushed magazine cover, just genuinely content and proud of your reflection. For many of the people who come to this channel, that feeling has become less and less frequent. And it is not vanity. It is not superficiality. It is a deeply human need to feel like the person looking back at you in the mirror still reflects the vibrant, alive, capable person you feel on the inside. So tell me in the comments, when did you first notice that your skin started to change? Was it your 60s? Was it earlier? Was it a specific event or stressor that seemed to accelerate things? I read every single comment, and your stories genuinely matter to me. They shape the videos I make and the topics I research for you. Now let us get into it. Today, I am counting down 6 powerful additions you can make to your water, ranked from helpful all the way up to absolutely transformational. And I promise you, by the time we reach number 1, you are going to look at your morning glass of water in a completely different way. Starting with number 6. Number 6 is something most people think of as a kitchen staple, something you put in salad dressing or use to clean your countertops. And yes, I am talking about raw, unfiltered apple cider vinegar. Now, before you roll your eyes, hear me out, because what this simple liquid does inside an aging body is genuinely remarkable, and the science is far more impressive than its humble reputation suggests. Here is the problem that most seniors over 65 do not realize they have. Your stomach acid, technically called hydrochloric acid, decreases significantly as you age. In fact, a study from the University of Michigan Medical School found that by the age of 70, more than 40% of adults have a condition called hypochlorhydria, which simply means low stomach acid. And why does that matter for your skin? Because low stomach acid means your body cannot properly break down the protein-rich foods that are the raw materials for collagen. You can eat all the chicken, fish, and eggs in the world, but if your stomach is not acidic enough to properly digest those proteins into their component amino acids, glycine, proline, hydroxyproline, then your skin cells are not getting the building blocks they need to make new collagen. It is like trying to build a house when the lumber truck cannot get through the gate. Apple cider vinegar, when diluted and consumed before meals, temporarily restores acidity to the digestive environment, essentially priming your stomach to extract more of those critical amino acids from the food you eat. But it goes further than that. The acetic acid in raw apple cider vinegar also helps regulate blood sugar response after meals. This is critically important for skin aging because elevated blood sugar triggers a process called glycation. That is when sugar molecules attach to collagen fibers and make them stiff and brittle. Glycation is one of the primary biological reasons that skin loses its bounce and begins to sag as we get older. Research published in the Journal of Diabetes Research demonstrated that just 1.5 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar before a carbohydrate-rich meal could reduce post-meal blood sugar spikes by up to 34% in adults over 60. I had a patient named Dorothy, 73 years old, from Savannah, Georgia. She came to me frustrated because despite eating what she described as a very clean diet full of protein and vegetables, her skin was still looking increasingly dull and crepe-like. We ran some functional tests and discovered her stomach acid was significantly depleted. I recommended she add 1 tablespoon of raw, unfiltered apple cider vinegar, the kind with what is called the mother, which is the cloudy, stringy substance you see floating in a good quality bottle, diluted into 8 to 10 ounces of room temperature water, consumed about 15 minutes before her 2 largest meals each day. Within 8 weeks, Dorothy came back and she was glowing. She told me her skin felt more plump, her digestion had improved dramatically, and she had more energy throughout the day. Her collagen, essentially, was finally getting the raw materials it needed. For preparation, always dilute. Never drink it straight because undiluted vinegar can damage tooth enamel and irritate the esophagus. 1 tablespoon in 8 to 10 ounces of water is the sweet spot. Do not use a metal straw. Use a glass or BPA-free plastic straw to protect your teeth, or rinse your mouth with plain water afterward. And for synergy, pair it with a meal that contains quality protein and a small amount of vitamin C-rich food, a few cherry tomatoes, some bell pepper, a squeeze of citrus, because vitamin C is an essential cofactor for the enzymes that actually assemble collagen in your skin cells. Moving now to number 5, and this one might surprise you because it sounds almost too simple to be this powerful, but the research behind it is absolutely compelling. Number 5 is silica-rich mineral water, specifically water that contains naturally occurring dissolved silica at concentrations of 30 milligrams per liter or higher. Silica is what scientists call a trace mineral, and most people have never heard of it, but it plays a role in collagen formation that is so foundational, so essential, that without adequate silica, your body literally cannot complete the final structural assembly of a collagen fiber. Think of silica as the rivets in a bridge. The steel beams of the collagen proteins can be there in abundance, but without those rivets locking everything into place, the whole structure stays weak and unstable. Here is what the aging process does to your silica status. Research from the University of Bordeaux, published in the journal Biological Trace Element Research, found that silica levels in human skin decline by approximately 75% between the ages of 20 and 80. 75%? That is not a small dip. That is a near total depletion of one of the most structurally critical minerals for your skin, hair, nails, and joints. And here is the cruel irony. As your body becomes more depleted, it also becomes less efficient at absorbing silica from food sources like whole grains, bananas, and leafy greens. So the deficit compounds year after year after year. This is where silica-rich mineral water becomes genuinely extraordinary as a delivery vehicle. When silica is dissolved in water as orthosilicic acid, which is the bioavailable form, it bypasses many of the digestive barriers that make food-based silica hard to absorb, particularly in an aging digestive system. A landmark clinical trial at the University of Liège in Belgium followed 50 women over the age of 70 who consumed 500 milliliters per day of high silica mineral water for 20 weeks. The results were striking. Researchers observed a 22% improvement in hair tensile strength, a 19% increase in nail thickness, and measurable improvements in skin surface texture and firmness that were confirmed by dermatological imaging. Participants also reported reduced joint discomfort, which makes sense when you understand that cartilage, the cushioning tissue in your joints, also depends on silica for its structural integrity. The most studied and widely available high silica mineral waters are brands like Fiji, Volvic, and Spritzer, each of which contains silica at concentrations well above the therapeutic threshold. You are looking for at least 30 milligrams of silica per liter on the label. Some brands go as high as 85 milligrams per liter, which is even more beneficial. 1 to 2 liters per day of high silica water as your primary drinking water can make a meaningful difference within 6 to 12 weeks, particularly in skin texture and the condition of your hair and nails. For synergy, silica absorption is enhanced significantly in the presence of adequate vitamin D and magnesium. So if you are drinking high silica water and you also address your vitamin D status, which we will touch on later in this video, you are creating a compounding effect that goes far beyond what either nutrient achieves alone. I had a patient named Helen, 79 years old, retired school teacher from Portland, Oregon. Helen had noticed that her hair had become increasingly thin and wispy over the previous several years, and the skin on her forearms had taken on that thin, almost translucent quality that many of us notice as we age. I suggested switching her daily water source to a high silica mineral water and adding 1 additional glass per day. Helen was skeptical. She told me it seemed too simple to make a real difference. But when she came back 4 months later, she had photographs. Her hair was visibly fuller, her nails had stopped breaking, and the skin on her forearms looked genuinely more substantial. She called it her little miracle. It is not a miracle. It is just science that most people have never been told. Now we are moving into the middle of our countdown, and this is where things start to get even more exciting. But first, I want to take a moment to connect with all of you watching from around the world, because I know this channel reaches people in so many different countries, and that genuinely moves me. So right now in the comments, tell me, what country and what city are you watching from today? I love seeing where all of you are tuning in from. Whether you are watching from the Philippines, the United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, Nigeria, India, or anywhere else on this beautiful planet, drop your location in the comments and say hello. You are part of a community of people who care about aging well, and I am so honored to be part of your journey.